What if the last words your daughter said to you were so ordinary that you didn't realize they were goodbye? I still hear Amelia's voice. "I'll be back soon, Mom. Just a walk." It was the kind of sentence you don't hold on to until it becomes the only thing left. The porch light had just clicked on. The late September air was sharp, the kind that carried every sound. I remember the door closing behind her, soft, almost cautious. She didn't take a bag, didn't grab a sweater, just her phone, and her shoes scraping against the driveway until the sound faded. Minutes passed, then an hour. The house settled into that uneasy silence you don't notice until it's too heavy. I called her phone. No answer. Called again. Straight to voicemail. The kind that clicks too fast, like the line's been cut. By midnight, I was standing at the window, watching the street. No headlights, no laughter, no Amelia. And that's when the first thought clawed into my mind. What if she never planned on coming back? What if the sound that haunts you isn't screaming, but a phone that rings in the dark, and you don't answer? I was half asleep when I heard it. Amelia's phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. The screen lit up, casting that cold blue glow against the wall. Buzz. Pause. Buzz again. At first, I told myself she'd be back to grab it. She always came back. But the buzzing didn't stop. 10 minutes. 20. Each time it rattled across the counter, it felt louder. Like the whole house was holding its breath with me. I thought about picking it up. My hand hovered, but something in me froze. Because if I answered, it meant she hadn't. And that terrified me more than the dark outside. When the buzzing finally cut off, the silence was worse. It wasn't just gone, it was stolen. Like someone out there had pressed end. And in that moment, I knew. This wasn't Amelia choosing not to come home. This was someone making sure she never did. What if the last thing you swore you remembered turns out it never happened at all? I kept saying I saw Amelia step off the porch at 7:15. I could still picture the way her hair caught the porch light. But when the officers asked me again, I faltered. Was it 7:15? Or closer to 8? The air was darker in my mind. The sound of the door latch echoed too long. Ethan sat at the table, refusing to meet my eyes. He muttered that the phone had buzzed before midnight. But then no, he said after. His words tripped over themselves, each answer rewriting the one before it. "I heard it stop," he whispered finally. "What do you mean stop?" I snapped. His eyes glistened, like someone pressed the button. Not her. Someone else. That's when my stomach turned, because I remembered the back door. Unlocked. Wide open. I told myself I checked it after she left. But did I? Or was that just the story I've been telling myself to survive? The house felt full of ghosts. Not Amelia, but the pieces of her we kept misplacing. And the worst part wasn't the missing girl. It was realizing that even inside these walls, none of us could trust what we knew. What if the worst part of losing someone is realizing the person you lost last might be yourself? By morning, Ethan swore Amelia left before sunset. But I remembered the sky already bruised with night when she stepped outside. Two truths, both certain, both breaking me apart. He said he saw her reflection in the kitchen window, hair pulled back, windbreaker zipped. But I remembered it loose around her shoulders, swaying as she reached for the door. Every question we answered twisted into another contradiction. The officers didn't have to accuse us. Our own memories did. At breakfast, Ethan slammed his fist against the table. "Stop changing it, Mom. You didn't even watch her go. You were washing dishes." My chest froze. Was he right? Had I only heard the door? Imagine the rest? The plate in my hand slipped, crashing against the sink. And in that sharp silence, I realized something more terrifying than Amelia being gone. The night she left, our family fractured with her, and maybe she wasn't the only one who didn't come back. What if the first person to claim they saw your child alive is the one whose story keeps breaking apart? Joe Rowan leaned against his mailbox when the police asked him. Said he watched Amelia pass by, hands in her pockets, steady pace. But later, he swore her arms were swinging fast, like she was rushing somewhere. At first, he described the jacket as blue. By the afternoon, It had turned red in his memory. He told them she walked left toward the gas station. But in another version, he said she turned right toward the fields. Every retelling twisted the road beneath her feet. When I asked him myself, his voice cracked on one strange detail. He swore he saw her phone light up, glowing against her face. But Ethan had her phone records, and the last activity showed no messages, no calls. Not at that time. Not anywhere near it. I watched Joe's eyes flicker, his mouth stumbling between versions of the truth. And in that moment, one thought burned itself into me. Maybe Amelia wasn't the only one walking alone that night. What if the first thing you learn as an investigator is that the people closest to the truth are the ones bending it? Officer Dana Lowe spread the notes across her desk. Timeline, phone logs, witness statements. None of it held steady. Amelia's phone buzzed for nearly 5 minutes past midnight, the calls piling up with no one to answer. Her brother admitted he heard it, but never picked up. By the time police checked, the device was dark, unreachable, as if it had been silenced on purpose. Then came Joe Rowan. First he said Amelia wore blue, then red. First left, then right. His story bent like a branch in the wind, never snapping, never straightening. And Marianne, the mother, her memory cracked too. She swore she locked the front door that night, but when officers walked through the house, the back door was unlatched, open to the night air. It shifted the timeline entirely. Amelia could have left that way, unseen, or someone could have entered while the family waited by the window, believing she was still outside. Dana circled 3 words in her notes, pressing hard enough to tear the page. Buzzing. Contradictions. Door. The case wasn't missing anymore. It was breaking right in her hands. What if the most painful truth is that sometimes the story doesn't end? It just stops? Weeks passed, then months. The porch light burned out, but I kept it on anyway, replacing the bulb again and again, as if light alone could guide her back. Flyers faded on telephone poles. Search parties dwindled until there were none. Neighbors stopped asking. Even the investigators learned to lower their voices when my name came up. No body, no sightings, just a trail of contradictions. A buzzing phone no one answered, a door left unlocked, a neighbor's story shifting like sand. And Amelia was never seen again. I walk past her room now, the air still carrying her scent, and I wonder, was the walk meant to clear her head, or was it always meant to erase her? Some stories never find their ending. They only haunt the ones left behind. Subscribe to the Veil of Secret, where every untold mystery still waits in the dark.